And the Beat It. With like the Crips and Bloods.
Yeah, I know. Michael was the leader of the Crips and Bloods out here. He was bringing communities together.
Yep.
Alrighty, folks, the Michael Jackson movie. It is officially out. What are we thinking? What was our initial first reactions? We just got back from the theater.
Yep, overall, I would say I enjoyed the movie. You know, I felt like with the biopic itself, it only covered about half his, like, music career, I guess. But, you know, starting off when he was a kid and everything and going up until, the Bad.
Yep, ended with Bad, right when the Bad era started is when it cut off, which is what I was thinking. That was my big thing going into the movie is I didn't know when it would start and when it would end.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they would start with Jafar at the very beginning of the movie of him in like his kind of teenage, young adult years and then like kind of like starting it off the wall. I figured it would end with Bad. But yeah, I didn't know they were going to have so much of him as a kid in there. Yeah. Obviously, that's where you would want to start the story, tell the whole Jackson 5 thing, but I didn't know if it would start a little ways in and start it like off the wall, but clearly it didn't. The whole first 45 minutes to an hour was probably
young
little Michael in the Jackson 5. So.
I thought he did really well, the one that played little Michael.
Yeah, he looked and sounded just like him. Yep.
Singing and stuff. Yeah, that was
funny. Yep, that was really good. What'd you think, Sean?
I thought it was pretty good. Like you said, I didn't expect it to cover as much as it did for Jackson 5. Yeah. And I wasn't sure where it was going to leave off either, so I wasn't expecting it to end at that point that it did end at.
Yeah. Kind of in the middle of that, or at the end of that show.
I figured it wouldn't cover his whole life just because 2 hours and 7 minutes, that's like a 50-year career to pack in, or like 45-year career to pack in all into like a 2-hour movie. So I figured it would have to be broken up into 2 separate movies. There was a bunch of rumors going around that they were going to do it as 2 separate movies, but I didn't know if that was true or not. But clearly with the way it ended, before the credits, it said
setting up for
his story's not over, or this
his story continues.
His story continues, yeah. So they're setting up for a part 2 where they'll obviously go into like
later
the rest
career.
of the bad stuff. Will probably get like Smooth Criminal. That's probably where it'll start, and then it'll get into like Dangerous History, and then probably go to the point where he passes away.
Yeah.
So.
And then obviously the main Jafar Jackson who played Michael, obviously, I thought he did really well. You know,
he bodied it.
His dancing too.
His dancing was on point. The voice was on point.
And I saw he never really wanted to be an actor or anything, but like the producers or director like called him and asked him if he would want to be in it, and he said he would, and yeah, he did really well.
Yeah, he killed it. The critics are tweaking for the critic score.
Yeah, like Rotten Tomatoes. Yep.
Yeah, saying it was worse than what it was.
Like 30%, I think.
I really liked it. I don't know what more they could have done.
Yeah.
As far as explaining his life and like, or up to that point in a 2-hour window, I don't know what more they could have done. I think they killed it. I think they pretty much covered everything. I think they can obviously go more in the second one. They can go more into the Bad era, obviously, and showing music videos like Smooth Criminal, kind of the same way they showed like Beat It and Thriller.
Yeah, like the music videos being like made and stuff.
Get him to do the lean. But yeah, and then go into like the later parts of his life with Dangerous and History.
Yeah, as of recording, it's 38% with the critic score, and then 97%.
I don't know where they're getting that from.
Yeah.
Who are these critics that are watching this? I don't agree with that at all.
Because obviously Rotten Tomatoes works like they just give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, and only 38% gave it like a thumbs up.
Yeah, I feel like they bodied
That's crazy,
it.
Yep.
I didn't know they were going to cover as much of his young life as a kid in the Jackson 5 as they did, but I did like the parts that they did cover. I like them showing the whole Encino house. I'm pretty sure that is the house that he eventually dies in.
Yeah.
Was that house in Encino, California?
And like the rest of the cast too, like his dad played Joe Coleman Domingo. I thought he did really well.
Yeah, he
and then
killed
just
it.
like the family itself.
Yeah, he looked just like him.
Yeah.
He looked just like Joe Jackson, I swear. Yeah, and it's scary how close Jafar in certain like performance moments, like when he was performing like Billie Jean and when he was performing like Bad at the very end, you can he looks really similar to him, but you can kind of tell in the face he doesn't look exactly like him. It's like his face is a little bit wider. Yeah. But I swear, in some of the moments where they were like in the house, some of the moments where he was talking with Joe Jackson, it was like he looks dead on, especially after he got the nose job. Like he looks dead on him in some of those scenes, or like when he was walking out of the building in New York,
the hotel,
and he got on top of the limo, and he like put up the peace sign. He was aura farming. That was he looked just like him when he had the like sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Another big thing I liked about the movie was the outfits.
Yeah.
Like all the costumes are literally like identical.
Yep.
Like the Motown Billie Jean performance when he first did the moonwalk, that was like identical. The Pepsi commercial, which I didn't even know if they would really dive into that much, but yeah, that I knew they were setting that up from that meeting he had with Don King, and they mentioned that Pepsi was looking for advertising to do, and they I knew that we were going to go into where his hair caught on fire during the Pepsi commercial, but yeah, all of that stuff was identical. Like all those costumes, everything looked super accurate to what it was, especially like that Motown stage. Like if you watch it side by side with the real thing, it's literally like shot for shot.
Yeah, I said like Miles Teller in there. The
Oh
longer
yeah,
hair.
yeah, that's funny.
Myers.
Yep.
Mike Myers. Yeah, but I didn't even realize that was Mike Myers, the one who called MTV and stuff.
Well, I haven't seen him in anything in a long time. So you're kind of picturing like Austin Powers, but then you see that. The only complaint I guess I would really have is the fact that Bubbles, you could tell, was super like CGI. Yep, it didn't look super realistic, but again, that wasn't like a huge complaint. Like I didn't mind that.
Yeah, then they kept bringing up like Neverland, like telling like in the book and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
with Pinocchio. Yeah, and
Or
Peter Pan. Yep, and then showing how much he liked Disney with like Mickey Mouse and Pinocchio and stuff throughout it. Yeah, clearly they're setting up certain things for the second movie. Because obviously, when he gets into that whole after the bad era and like builds Neverland and all that stuff, they were planting the seeds for that because they kept showing Neverland throughout the movie.
Yeah. Where was Neverland? It wasn't in Encino, was it?
No, it's in California, but I think it's kind of off the beaten path.
Oh yeah, but it's in its own like area.
Yeah, because it's a huge ranch.
Yeah.
Not like in the middle of nowhere, but I don't think it's like anywhere near LA.
City or anything. Yeah.
But yeah, clearly they're setting that up, so I'm sure they'll show that whole thing getting built in the second movie and him living there. Because I think in like the whole second half of his life, from probably like age, like I don't know, that'd be probably something to look up, but probably like from like early to mid 30s to probably like until he died at age 50. I think he was living at Neverland for the most part.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, the whole vitiligo stuff. Like about his skin changing colors, they were kind of like planting the seeds throughout that.
You could see it too. Like one time he was wearing like some clothes, and you could see his chest a little bit was like
the blotches,
his arms,
the like pale blotches, and then that was a big thing that people don't know. That's why he wore the glove on his one hand, because he had the pale blotches, so he would wear the glove. That was where the whole one glove came from, to cover the blotches on his skin. And they mentioned it when he went to get the nose job, that when they asked him if he was on any medications or anything, he said he was just on some kind of he was using some kind of cream for his vitiligo.
Yeah, and you hear too, he's like, I don't want any like hard medication or anything.
Yeah, like so maybe they're hinting towards some of the like pain medications and stuff he might have used later in his life.
Same thing when he got the burns from the Pepsi commercial. Yep, like they asked him to. Like the doctor's like, you're gonna want to take medication because it's gonna be extremely painful, but he didn't really want to.
Yeah, and he was saying that the pain pills were making him super tired. Yeah, so he was like, these pain meds they have me on are wearing me out.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, and then also with the vitiligo stuff at the end when he performed bad, he had all the little tape around his fingers, like the little rings of tape around his fingers. That was also to like cover up the white blotches he had in his skin. And he kind of mentioned the whole thing about how he wears makeup to kind of even it out. That was another big thing that they always talked about.
Yeah, the Thrill album was cool, seeing that, kind of like how that was. I think they have a documentary, an actual documentary of how it was actually made, but they kind of putting it together for the movie. So yeah, that was cool. And the Beat It. Like the Crips and Bloods.
Yeah, I know. Michael was the leader of the Crips and Bloods out here. He was bringing communities together.
Yep.
Yeah, that iconic shot that you just scrolled by or up a little bit, up one row. That one right there of him holding the like six Grammys. Yeah, in that jacket.
Just like him.
Yeah, that's a huge like famous shot. So yeah, that all looks great. I thought the Thriller music video looked really good. I thought the Beat It elements of like them making the music video looked really good.
It was funny in the studio when he was having to keep his feet still, like at the beginning when he was younger.
Yeah.
That got a couple laughs.
I liked all the Quincy Jones stuff. I thought
he was
all that,
good. The guy who played him.
I thought all that stuff was good.
Yep.
He visited like a lot of the children's hospitals too.
Yeah, true.
Yep, they showed a lot of that stuff.
I heard stories. I've seen like in the toy store it showed a bunch of times. He always bought a bunch of toys, like buy out the store for kids that would be in there. So.
Yeah, I didn't know the whole thing about how the like payout settlement for his head getting burned. He donated it all to that.
Oh, that burn center,
like clinic he was at. Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. I thought it was shot really well too, like the cuts and stuff.
Oh yeah, the
like
performances.
I thought at the very end when it cut from him like leaving, was it the victory tour, and then it cut to him in that bad tour. It kind of just did a quick
that
cut,
like transition. It was like him walking down the hallway, and then it kind of flipped,
and then it was wearing the bad
outfit. Yeah, that was really good.
That was cool.
I thought the Thriller shot was really good too when he was like all zombified, and then he spun around and had the no makeup on, and it was regular like the music. Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, it was the same director who directed like Bohemian Rhapsody and stuff. So.
Yep.
He's used to like the biopics.
Yep. I thought they did really well showing the relationship of how he grew up and like the tension with his dad too. I thought all of that stuff was good.
Yeah, I always heard about that. His dad was like really strict and stuff on him.
Yep, and almost abusive to him. And like that was the reason they said he originally wanted to get a nose job because his dad always made fun of him for having a big nose as a kid.
Really?
And that was in the beginning of the movie. You heard him say that. It was like before he hit him with the belt, he said like, "Get over here, big nose," or something like that. It was kind of so they were kind of like planting those seeds in there. Also, one thing I think is funny, I forget who said it in an interview one time. Somebody said something about how Michael was always thinking about Prince. So when he was in the pool and he was like coming up with ideas for Thriller, he was on the floating
raft.
on the water. Yeah, he was on that raft. They said something about like, what are you over there thinking about, Michael, or something like that, or because he was like humming. He said something about like God's trying to gift me with a song or like a sound or something, and if I don't take it and run with it, he's going to give it to Prince.
Yeah,
I remember somebody saying in like an interview one time that he had made a comment like super similar to that. So I'm sure that's where they took the inspiration from.
Yeah.
For him to make that comment in that scene in the pool.
I felt like the pace was good. Like,
oh, the pacing was really good.
Yeah, it moved fast.
I thought it moved at a really good pace because I didn't think it was too fast, but I didn't think it was too slow. They didn't stay on one part for too long. They didn't stay on one part of his life for too long, but they didn't stay there too short either.
Yep.
I didn't think anything was like too quick. They went through the eras at a good pace. Like they showed what they needed to show and then moved on to the next thing. So it didn't like stay and linger in one spot too long. So I thought it really moved.
Is that MTV stuff true? Like he's like kind of the first black artist to break the ice on the
because
videos and stuff.
Well, yeah, because you heard him mention too. I think he was one of the first artists to really do music videos in general. I think he was like the originator of that because he said in there too. He didn't even call them music videos. Like that wasn't even a term. He said, "Oh, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to film. I have ideas to film short films for my songs." And he was like, "Oh, it's going to be genius. I can already like see it now."
I think people did music videos, but he definitely took it to another level, like where there was
the whole
stories being told,
the whole performance element.
Yeah,
because Thriller was there was like whole scenes almost like it was like shot inside of a horror movie and then broke into the song.
Yeah, you could tell a lot in the movie too when he was watching TV a lot. It showed him watching like old stuff. Yeah, that kind of give him those
where he was taking inspiration from. And I want to say I could be wrong, but I know they said he was like super inspired by James Brown with the way that he danced like growing up. Yeah, and there was shots. I think of him as a kid, like watching James Brown on TV at one point.
Stuff.
Yep. And then, and that was another big thing because I remember Michael Jackson said in an interview one time that he didn't like how as a kid they would film people like Elvis or James Brown, but not film their feet. They would film them waist up. And then he said when he was shooting the Thriller video, like, you guys are too tight on me with the camera. You need to back up. You need to see like head to toe.
Yep.
Because that's the most important part. So yeah, I like how they pieced all that together.
Yeah, that was good.
Now, my only question is, for the second movie, I would assume they would use Jafar again. Now, if his skin pigmentation is going to change, how are they going to do that? Is it going to be like practical effects with makeup, or are they going to get a different actor? I would assume they would use Jafar again.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see how they pull that off, because he obviously gets more and more like pale as it goes into like the dangerous and like history era, like as it gets into like the 90s and early 2000s. Alrighty, guys. So Michael movie out of 10. What do you guys give it?
I would give it an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5.
I felt like the music and everything was great. The performances, I enjoyed it.
I would give it a 9 out of 10. Solid 9. I really liked it. I thought the pacing was really good. I thought the performance element was really good. I thought Jafar killed it. I thought the look of all the characters was super accurate. I thought all the costumes and outfits and stuff was perfect. Some of it looked shot for shot to the actual performances that I've seen hundreds of times. So
I would give it also a solid 9. I thought it looked great. It was a little funny and also pretty serious. So I think covered a lot of good emotions that he probably would feel over his lifetime. So
never mind, give me a 9.
Give me a 9. round it up.
I'll move it to a 9.
I'm telling you, it was good, man. It was really good. And like how you just kind of said, Sean, I think it had like good emotional moments, but it also had good like lighthearted, like funny moments too. So there was moments that were almost like comedic in it, like when Bubbles first showed up and stuff. So yeah, they were just like, welcome to the family. I don't know how they could have done it better. I have like no complaints really. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to leave a like down below on the video and leave a comment letting us know what you thought. Give us a rating out of 10 for what you thought of the Michael movie. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.